Good morning, Provo City. I am Superintendent Dau, and today is Friday, September 1st. We are looking forward to a great 3-day weekend for Labor Day, and we hope that you are as well and that everyone stays safe and has a wonderful weekend. Just want to give you a few updates as to what's been going on in Provo City School District. So first, I wanted to highlight an article in the Salt Lake Tribune on artificial intelligence and the presentation that Susie Cox did with the Board of Education a little over a week ago. They did a good job of highlighting some of the things that we're trying to accomplish as a district, so check that out if you have not done so. I'd love to have you tune into our podcast. I interview a 6th grader at Westridge Elementary, Emmy Kim, who has been working really hard to raise money to create more diverse libraries to make sure that kids can find books that represent them. So for example, Emmy Kim is Asian, and making sure that there are books in the library that have Asian main characters. I really just want to give a big shout out to her and her desire to make sure that our students have things to read that really represent their background and their culture. So great job. So I think you'll really enjoy that interview. It's pretty great to see what a 6th grader can do. I also want to give a huge shout out to Provo High School. I was able to attend their volleyball game. Just great coaches, great administrators, and wonderful students. Just the school spirit that was there was very exciting. Love to watch them defeat Taylorsville. That was definitely a bonus, but just want you to know what great students that we have at our schools. I also want to give a big shout out to Sunset View Elementary. Just the great teaching that I saw there this week as students were learning reading and writing. I walked into a 4th grade classroom where the teacher was really talking about the writing process and things that students needed to do to improve their writing skills. And just to see those high expectations, that was pretty incredible. So big shout out to Sunset View Elementary, to Principal Chilcote and the teachers there. Also, Amelia Earhart Elementary this week is doing their first launch, as they have a literacy community, and so they do 8 book launches with different challenges. They really want to get the community involved. So if you are part of Amelia Earhart, please tune in for that and make sure you're joining along. I know I will be. I've had a lot of questions come in recently about our dress code policy as a district, so I just wanted to highlight a couple of things. You can find our dress code policy on our website. If you go to the Community Essentials tab, right in the middle of the page, it will say Forms and Policies. You can go down to the 3000 section, which is about students, and it is policy 3224, and the specific procedures that are tied to it are labeled as 3224 procedure 1. And what you'll notice there is specific guidelines that are given. I know I've had a lot of parents say, well, what happens when a student is out of dress code compliance? I think that's an excellent question. We really leave this up to administrators to monitor. We do not want to be creating hostile relationships between teachers and students. And we do want students to feel very welcome in school. So our goal is always to have compliance with the dress code as we find students that are out of compliance with that. We do not want to shame students. We do not want to suspend them. We do not want to ostracize them in any way. We just usually say, can you put on a jacket? Can you turn that shirt inside out? And those are the ways in which we correct that very quickly, and we ally with parents in that process. So if you have questions about that, you can reach out to your individual principal. I'm always happy to assist you with that, as well as our assistant superintendents over elementary and secondary education. Our elementary assistant superintendent is Jared Seitz. He was the former principal at Provo High School. And we also have our assistant superintendent over secondary education, Daryl Jensen. We are all here ready and willing to help you process that. We recognize that dress for students is often a parent influence, and it does represent some challenges because we have people who have different views of what's appropriate for schools. So we've tried to line that out in our procedure, and we stick to that. I really have tried hard to instill in our principals that we want to focus more on instruction. I wish we spent more time having conversations about the academic achievement of students rather than dress code or other extraneous things, but I do understand that it is an important issue for many families. So if you have questions about that, please reach out to your principal. But we do just seek compliance. We really try not to pull kids out of class and create a huge issue. We recognize that oftentimes dress code enforcement tends to target individuals of a particular gender. It also tends to target certain racial groups. And so we want to be very conscientious that we are being equitable as we're enforcing that across the board, and just seeking compliance. So we're just educating our students. People have asked how that dress code policy came into being. It's the board started receiving reports last September from the previous assistant superintendents, and then it was open for feedback as we went through that process and was formally adopted in March. And so granted, that was before my time, but that is what I have researched and been able to glean from that. So if you have any questions about that, again, please feel free to reach out. But we also want to make sure that we're really focusing on instruction. We recognize that academic performance for our students is really what's going to open up a lot of opportunities for them moving forward, and making sure that they're staying on grade level. And that is a major focus of our board and of our community as well. I also wanted to let you know that there have been some questions about political activism and symbols in classrooms. We want classrooms to be very safe and be neutral from those types of things. So we have formulated a subcommittee. We do have a policy committee that works with the Board of Education to formalize our policy. We have a subcommittee that is working on draft policy and procedure right now. That will then start going out to the public. We will have that draft policy ready to go in October, and then send that out for review probably in November. So I'll keep updating you as that goes. But as always, if you're ever feeling like something is creating an uncomfortable environment for your student because of something that's being posted in the classroom, I would really encourage you to reach out to that teacher. If you don't feel comfortable in doing that, please reach out to the principal and help problem solve that. Our principals are dedicated to ensuring that our students feel safe no matter what their religious beliefs are, what their political backgrounds are. All kids have a right to feel safe and very welcome in our schools. So I appreciate your patience as we're working through that process to make sure we hear all voices in that, and making sure that we're addressing that issue appropriately so that we create a safe environment for our teachers and our students and our entire community. So I also just want to thank those of you that are really paying attention to safety at our pickup and drop-offs at all of our schools. We are constantly trying to work on that. I really appreciate Timpview High School and their various student groups that are reaching out to neighborhoods that have been impacted by street parking and different things. They have really done a great job of putting together some excellent PR campaigns to tell kids about where is it appropriate to park, what's going to get them in trouble. I've been trying to provide treats and just some positive thank yous to those neighborhoods that are dealing with those issues. So just huge thank you to those neighborhoods that surround Timpview High School. Thank you for your patience. We know this isn't easy for anyone. We are meeting with the City Council later this month. I hope that you're going to see a lot more alignment between, let me back up. We are so fortunate to have a school district that is within our city boundaries, and we want to be aligning our priorities together and working together to find solutions. So look forward to that meeting later, and I will report on that and kind of talk with you about some of the major items of discussion that we had through that. As always, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. You can find my email on our website. I do have my own page, and you can email me directly. You're always welcome to reach out to your board members as well. And as these questions come in, not only will we personally respond to you, but we will also try to respond because we recognize that many community members might have similar questions. So thanks for listening. We hope you have a wonderful Labor Day weekend, and we'll be in touch. See you next week. Bye, everyone.